Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., all rights reserved.
That's Stevie Dan bringing us back. 17 till. I'm Jim Blasingame. Thank you very much for being part of my day. I am the Small Business Advocate, and I'm glad you're here. Please check out my website, smallbusinessadvocate.com. We're having a great visit with our good friend Tamar Jacoby. She's our resident immigration expert in the Brain Trust. She's the president of Immigration Works USA. Put a .org on the end of that. Is that right, Tamar?
Yes, it is, Jim.
ImmigrationWorksUSA.org, and you can find out all the things that she does. And Tamar, the immigration debate is back on the table in earnest, right?
Yes, it is.
And this is meat and potatoes time for you, isn't it? With your business.
This is the prize fight I've been training for a decade.
And it's on, and you've been very much involved in the process. I know you're working with the different sides to advise them, and I appreciate that very much. And I know that you are keeping small business owners in mind with your counsel. Am I correct?
What we do as an organization is we try to organize small business owners who care about this to lift up their voice and say something,
right, and
encourage Congress to get it right. Because as you pointed out in the last segment, small businesses hire a lot of immigrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's both less skilled and more skilled, right? Startups in Silicon Valley rely on some of these PhD scientists,
right,
and programmers and a lot of the startups in Silicon Valley are run and were started by immigrants. Immigrants start businesses at twice the rate Americans start them.
Right.
But also at the low end, the less skilled end, whether it's in restaurants, hotels, all kinds of construction contractors.
Very, very involved in construction.
Who does 25% of the construction workers in America are immigrants.
Right. So
25%.
So what we have now is we have another gang putting this deal together, right? A gang of 8, is that right?
A gang of 8, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats. Ever since the November election, Republicans figured out that, hey, they better get on the right side of this, so they'll never see the inside of the White House because they're never going to attract any Latino votes.
Right.
So I am a Republican. Thank goodness we finally woke up to it. And you have 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans in the back room, and they just came out with a deal this week. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty good deal. It's being in Washington for a decade, the thing I've noticed is people have pretty much forgotten how to compromise. They've forgotten how to go into a room and say, I need X, I need Y, let's meet in the middle. This bill is actually, there's some flaws, there's some problems with it, but it's a pretty good civics lesson in how to do that bipartisan compromise. The Democrats got what they want most, which is a pathway to citizenship for the 11 million unauthorized people in the country, and the Republicans got the biggest thing they wanted, which is tougher border enforcement and tougher worksite enforcement. Some of the questions that are still on the table are, and they tried to find compromises on this too, but I think compromised a little less well, are on these questions of attracting immigrants in the future and allowing immigrants to enter legally in the future. The unions had kind of an outsized influence in these negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was the Democratic Senate after all.
But how do you feel about that now?
Well, I think the program I think is most important for the future of the country is the less skilled immigration, right? Mm-hmm. Because we need those PhD scientists, but that program is going to be pretty good.
But they have a path that they can go. They can pursue.
Exactly.
We just need to increase some numbers, and we got that solved, don't we?
Exactly. And the less skilled, that's a big issue for the businesses, but that's also the issue for the country. Because if we don't create a way for them to come legally, we're going to be back here in 10 or 15 years with another big illegal population.
But shouldn't we not use the word "come here legally" as opposed to the people who are already here legally? I mean, isn't the 8-ton elephant in the living room the 12, 13 million people who are here illegally?
That's the 8-ton. That is the big emotional issue, but honestly, it's not the most important fix for the country.
Is that right?
The most important fix for the country is going to be whether we have another 11 million illegal people here.
So it's securing the borders, then. Securing the borders.
No. It's creating a legal way for the less skilled workers we need.
Okay, that's really a part of that process, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
Because one side you deal with the unauthorized who are already here. You got to come up with an answer for them, but you got to come up with another answer for the carpenters and the bus boys and the gardeners who are going to want to come next year and the year after that.
When I say secure the border, what I mean is, I think that has to include a way of making crossing the border a legal process, not an illegal process.
Well, fair enough. But most people, when they say securing the border, they think about fences and drones and stuff like that.
Right.
And so you have to. This part about less skilled workers often gets lost if you don't lift it up.
Right.
Because people think, build a fence, legalize the ones already here.
So this is a complicated process. Let's take the Hispanic immigrants, because let's be honest, that's the biggest thing we have right now to deal with, and people who came across the border. So we got 13 million in the country illegal. 11. Okay, 11 million, and we got some of them are their children who are Americans.
Of course, some of them have. Children who were born here and wives even who were born here.
It's very complicated situation. Is what are going to be? When we come back after these messages, we're going to need you to give us the major building blocks of this legislation as you see it, and where we're stuck. Folks, you can see that we've got, if everybody if Democrats and Republicans got up every morning and sang Kumbaya together and meant it, this would still be a hard thing to solve.
A thorny issue.
It would still be difficult. So you can see the kind of the compounding problem we have here. So we're going to talk about this and wrap it up with Tamar Jacoby. She and I will be right back. Stay with us.
Insperity presents the Small Business Advocate Show with Jim Blasingame, brought to you by FedEx, CareerBuilder.com, and Palo Alto Software. This is a copyrighted production of Small Business Network, Inc., intended for the private use of our audience. Except as otherwise provided by copyright law, all other copying, redistribution, or publication without prior written consent is prohibited. All rights reserved.